Oh my god. Okay, whatever, dude. Fuck off. Like,
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you,
well, now
Martha.
I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. I'm in the grocery store as well, and doing research and debating. And I'm trying to. Okay, what were we just saying? We were saying about the binary. Wow.
So your article defines sex on the basis of the gametes that you produce.
Oh yeah, gametes. Okay, so somebody can actually like remove their gametes, right? Does that disqualify them from that definition because of that, Bob? Or are we going to be reasonable
here? If sex is defined by the gamete production, then yes, it
And so
would.
if you, that is so idiotic. I can't even believe you're saying that. Like, are you serious right now?
Are you like silly? Do you want to walk through it together?
Okay, so you think
we
because
can do it.
We define.
If you define,
Bob,
look, I'm not taking any position as to whether or not this article defines sex in a way that I find intuitive. I'm sorry that your article defines sex on the basis of the gametes that you produce. But that's the logical conclusion.
When science defines sex as like what gametes you produce and like the whole reproductive strategy, the reason why there are 6,500 differences between the sexes are because of this reproductive strategy and how it manifests throughout the entire body, not just the reproductive organs. And then you say that somebody who has that body and even who has that gametes, but then gets those gametes removed, that they are now no longer that.
Did you forget that your article defines sex as the
sex because of that definition? That is so fucking idiotic.
Okay, I understand that you think it's idiotic. I don't know why I would like give someone an article that doesn't agree with me in support of a claim that I made. I think that's also kind of idiotic. If you read your own article,
how does it not agree? How does it not agree?
If you read your own article,
you're being so pedantic that it's like impossible to even talk to you.
If you read your own article, you would know that the argument that they provide.
Can you say it one more time?
That there's no.
If you read your own article,
if you read your article, you would understand that the argument that they provide.
That's 6 times now. Do you want to say it again?
Oh my gosh, are you done?
Well, you're clearly not a real woman.
Literally, like,
are you done? You're being so
childish.
Are you done?
Genuine childish.
Wait. Are you done? So if you read your article, you would see in the argument that it provides that it defines sex by your gamete production. Does not use your verbiage as body that's organized around.
Okay,
and if you read your if you read your article, you would understand what they're arguing for is the conclusion that there does not exist a third gamete. Not that every person is going to be either male or female, which is what I was asking you for. So I'm sorry that you didn't read this. I'm sorry that you're illiterate when it comes to like biology, but this does not support the conclusion that you're making.
You're absolutely insufferable. It does actually. It says that there's only 2 reproductive strategies possible. It says there's only 2 gametes available to a sexually dimorphic species. It says that like we're all organized around one or the other. Just because it doesn't say my exact definition, it's still the same sentiment. We're talking
Where in your article does it say that?
It says, you just read it. We're talking
about gamete
production.
Where in your article does it say what you just said? What I read is that it defines sex
Okay,
as
so it's not saying the words I'm saying out of my mouth.
Where does it even imply that is what I'm asking.
It implies that there's not
I'm asking you
people who are both sexes.
Would it even say something that implies what you're saying?
She's not citing the article. Let it go.
Well, I didn't tell her to come up here and debate while she's in the grocery store.
Here's the thing, like, it's literally your tit for tat about an article. Let it go. Like you're pounding.
Let it go.
Oh my God,
Martha gave me a source that doesn't agree with her. You have to let it go.
Just let it go.
Honestly, she doesn't have to defend her claims.
She's clearly brought
she can just give bullshit whenever. She can just give bullshit whenever. And honestly, I think you're being a bit too pedantic.
There's nothing bullshit about it.
She's brought a very
there's nothing bullshit about the study that you gave that doesn't support the claim that you made.
You're being so pedantic that like you're just like if it doesn't say exactly
it's so pedantic to expect you to provide an article that supports the claim that you made.
Conclusion. You guys are so disingenuous. How do you even debate with people?
It's so disingenuous to hold you to the claim
between
that
the
you made.
rhetoric and the dissing. And the
it's not looking good for you
so disingenuous of me to have you like provide an article that agrees.
No, it's fine. They're just the way that they fucking debate is so full of tactics and rhetoric. It's like
actual
source. Dedicated. Never. Does anyone want to debate?
This is how I know you're fucking
this is not going anywhere, right? So we're gonna go to like 1v1. So like, who wants to 1v1?
I want a 1v1. I kind of want to 1v1 Martha, but I'll wait till she's out the grocery store.
1v1 that bitch, bro.
I can 1v1.
Can I actually ask a question
Girl,
for
no,
Bob?
you can't. You already proved that.
No,
So,
1 second. Yeah, so
Bob is just
second.
disingenuous. If you're not disingenuous, I can debate anybody.
Anna, you want to debate
I'm disingenuous for telling you to defend your claim.
Not while she's in the grocery store. She'll get cooked. Can I get dedicated or Jules though?
Okay, you can get Jules.
Listen, I'm not gonna bring anything as like scientific as either Martha or Bob at this point.
And I don't care to debate you.
Okay, dedicated.
Yes.
I'm in the middle of the store.
Okay, so can we get people who are not in the store on the panel?
Are y'all in the grocery store together?
I'm at the grocery store.
No.
Like, what do you want me to do?
We actually leave our houses and do things. Crazy, hey?
Listen, I just want to listen, and I'll jump off the chat after this. But I just
please, bro.
I do have a question, and maybe it's for mostly for Bob because that's who is talking the most.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can be open panel, but like, just don't interrupt.
Oh no! Let me get Martha, please, because there was several unsubstantiated claims.
Okay. Jules, ask your question.
Let Jules go first, but then
go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Bob, and again, I'm just asking, how do you identify? So I can just actually just.
You can call me whatever. I don't care.
No. Do you identify as a male or a female?
Which would make you upset? Because then I identify as that.
I
identify as a woman. I identify as a woman, and I am in the women's restroom right now.
Okay, and again, here's the thing. I'm telling you this. I have zero issues with anybody identifying for anything that they present. Like you're identifying as that. But again, going back to Martha, she did prove a very good point. It becomes biology. Now I will say this, Bob. Do you mind me asking if you were born a male?
Was I born a male? Yeah.
Okay. So do you also identify now you're identifying as a female, but are you okay with being in the same social construct as a female?
Bob,
I am.
You're identifying as trans? What?
Yeah, I am. I'm in the same
with her?
social construct as female, yeah.
Okay, so
You're
you
not.
So
you just lying to you.
So Bob, if you are now identifying and you're okay with the social constructs, but you were born a male. And if you actually, I don't know if you present as a male at work, I don't know how you're doing things, but are you okay with like less pay, doing a lot of different things? Like you literally have to be a woman, like go into a woman's shoe. Is that okay with you? I mean, like that's what I think the biggest issue with the whole identifying
about,
as
like
a woman,
things that affect,
you have to take it all in. You can't just assume to be the position and then not take everything in. And I think that's the biggest issue. I'm being very serious. Like,
are you saying that like I should like just be fine with less pay and stuff?
Well,
I mean, like W feminism, I guess.
It's social constructs. Those are social constructs. Women get paid less than men. You do have to, if you're going to go in it, you've got to go all the way. Like you have to be a woman.
I'll ask for
take it
my
all
like,
in. Take
I'll
it all
ask
in.
for my hourly rate to be deduced. I don't know.
You should. I mean, but the thing is, like, you literally can't. You can't just sit there and say you want to be a woman and then not.
No, I didn't say I want to be a woman. I said I am.
Okay, great. Then you have to be like all of us. You can't just sit there on the sidelines and like this is not a game. And that's
stereotypes, by the way, but like
it's not stereotypes. This is a real situation. I mean,
no, this is where Martha would be talking about stereotypes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, let's be for real. She was saying
all I'm saying is that you have.
Bro, yo, I've heard enough. I want to hear Icy debate. Can you get your toxic coochie discharge having ass out of here, bro? I'm tired of hearing you, please. Like, I'm so serious. Like,
I love how comfortable you are being misogynistic. It's so great.
No, I'm not being misogynistic. I love women. Y'all are being misogynistic, and you're hating on people. So of course I'm being disrespectful towards you. Okay.
Just talk about your genitalia.
I have no respect. I have no respect for you. You hate on people. Why would
Sorry, Kiyoshi. I'm sorry. Wait. So Icy, who would you like to debate?
Yeah, I'm just going to need Martha to expound upon her claims from earlier.
Okay, I'll give you guys 6 minutes. Go ahead.
But great. So there were some claims made about the redefinition of woman in practically all context. I'm going to need that substantiated, or at least some type of argument, because that's just not entailed at all.
Okay. What is your question? Sorry, now I'm getting out of the grocery store. I paid, I'm out. Here I go. What?
So the claim was that the word woman means adult human female, because that's what it's always meant in every single context until the introduction of what you're going to call some gender ideology, blah, blah, blah. To which the word is being redefined. Correct. Yeah, I need to know where the redefinition.
Okay, I got it. Let me answer. Okay, so women's health is talking about adult human females' bodies, health. Women's history. We're recording adult human females in history. We're not recording adult human males in history. Women's spaces are necessitated because of male people so that women and girls can participate in society. So these are because of our bodies. So we're talking about adult human female spaces. We're not talking about male spaces, because why the fuck would we even divide them then if we were including male people in those spaces? Women's sports, adult human female sports. Again, we're differentiating bodies. We don't play sports with identities, we play sports with bodies. So we're talking about adult human females when we're talking about women in sports. Women's statistics, we're trying to record statistics about adult human females in society, not adult human males. Every example I can possibly think of that we use to describe, that we use the word woman, is describing adult human females, until gender ideology came along and said, actually, males want to fetishize and colonize the female sex. So now we're going to redefine women as a role or as some kind of thing that you can do or opt into as a male person. So that's a new thing. Never happened before. So is that enough evidence?
So you didn't answer my question at all. There's just a bunch of your.
How did I not?
So I asked for where the redefinition. I want to know where the redefinition is happening, because whenever I hear the word redefinition, I take it to be the case that there was some existing definition that is now outdated and no longer in use, and it has been changed entirely.
No, you guys are trying.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out where that has happened with what you're going to be calling a trans-inclusive definition. Where has the definition changed instead of some subset of people that the word could be referring to has now included different types of people?
Because that's what you guys are trying to do with your redefinition to include male people. I just demonstrated to you, quite well, actually, with all of our usages of that word. I demonstrated to you that we were never including adult human males in any of those usages, right? So then when trans ideologues came along and said, actually, that doesn't suit a bunch of fetishistic, perverted assholes who want to go in women's change rooms. So we do need to change that now to include male people. How are we going to do that? We're going to say that women aren't human beings anymore. They are a role or an aesthetic. They are objects you can purchase and wear, and now you're a woman if you do these things. It's a doing now, not a being, not a kind of human, but a verb instead of a noun. Okay, so that's the redefinition. It wasn't like that before. It used to mean these people, these adult human females in society, their bodies are different than male bodies. So that's why we have spaces, sports, prisons, shelters, language. This is why we have differentiation, so that we can look at these two different types of human beings and their needs. It has been redefined by your cult. It's being redefined by your cult, and we're fighting that. We're trying to stop it.
Martha, I need you to really track what I'm asking you.
Oh my God!
You went on another tangent for absolutely no freaking reason. I'm going to ask very clearly.
Then I don't think you're listening to anything I'm saying at this point.
Where has the adult human female definition, has it become archaic? Do people no longer use it? Oh, okay, great. So it hasn't been redefined. Great, that definition still exists and is still utilized in spaces. So it hasn't been redefined at all. So you were wrong about that.
Great, but you're simultaneously applying it now to adult human males, which makes the more we do that, right, the more we popularize using woman to define adult human males too, it erodes and erases women in language and law, because this is the word that we have to describe these people. So if you make it describe the opposite people, the ones we're trying to protect these people from, that necessitated women's rights, then women's rights doesn't mean anything anymore, because it includes male people too. The more we do that, the more the word's redefined. Does that make sense?
No, because that was a bunch of bullshit. Why would I believe
well, then you didn't
that
listen to
something?
anything
I'm
I said,
sorry. I'm speaking now. Thanks. So why would I believe that a simple usage of a word, let's say it's in a colloquial manner, right? It's in something almost akin to slang. Why would I believe that institutions of society are necessarily going to start using this definition if they find it to be more productive to operate on definitions that they've been using? Why would I believe that is necessitated by the usage of the term in this way? Go ahead.
Listen, if it was colloquial, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be shit. In fact, stop. If that's all it was, if you guys in your weird, stupid little cult were just colloquially using that word would be with each other and you were pretending males or women with each other, I wouldn't give a fuck. But it's actually being redefined in law to include male people in that definition. That's why we're no longer allowed to exclude the male sex class from anything. When gender identity is enshrined in law, which it is, and when we have institutions redefining it in things like the dictionary, in things like medicine, in things like shelters and prisons and everything designed for women, and we cannot discriminate against this thing called gender identity by not pretending that males are women, then yes, the institutions have redefined it. That's why they had to, in the Supreme Court of the UK, women of Scotland fought for 10 years to have the Supreme Court rule that a woman means adult human female. But that's not what's happening in places like Canada, where I live, and the US is still fighting over it. So this is a war with you fucking ideologues, and we're gonna win.
Great. So Martha, why then did you say to all of us that simply using this term, which you just described as being done maybe in some spaces or whatever, why did you think that us having like an agreement maybe with the validity of the definition that they might validate in some circumstances means that we agree it in totality? Why did you make that jump?
What is the question? Like in certain spaces they're using it, therefore they're using it in all?
No, I'm wondering why you think that because we might validate a certain definition in some context, why we would therefore validate it in every context.
Well, the only context that matters is if this affects women in law, which it is. That's why we're fighting back against this. That's the whole point that I just made. We wouldn't give a shit if you weird ass fuckers in your little cult were pretending each other were the opposite sex colloquially. We don't care. What we do care about is not being allowed to be defined as adult human females in law and having to include adult human males in that categorization in law. That's why we are being forced to call our rapist she, her in court. That's why we are being forced to endure male people in spaces where we're in states of undress, fleeing male violence, incarcerated, wanting to compete fairly in sport. If it wasn't that way, we wouldn't be fighting this. We wouldn't care.
Okay. So I'm just wanted to be clarified here that you, the most radical person of this anti-intellectual movement known as turfism, you actually wouldn't care about the colloquial usage, but you emotionally manipulate people into thinking that by using the colloquial usage, they are therefore replacing women in law. That's the understanding. Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm fighting back against this is because they're replacing women in law. We're being erased as a protected category in language and law. Therefore, the colloquial usage of it supports that, normalizes that, causes us to lose more ground.
Yeah, I need the argument for that.
Because society's supporting these laws. If we don't fight it down here in the culture and we say, hey, they're not men, stop using this fucking terminology because this results in us losing our rights in law. And here it is. Here's the demonstration. That's why I don't just say, don't say that because it's erasing us. I demonstrate. Here's all these examples of women trying to assert their fucking protections in law and not being able to do that because these fucking assholes have made it so that we no longer exist as a protected category in law.
Okay. Thank you so much. So all you've told me is that people don't understand the difference of context and how to use words within certain contexts. You haven't told me how the usage of this term necessitates what you actually admitted before. It doesn't necessitate it, but because you're seeing a correlation, you now apply a blanket statement to people when you don't know their position on how they use those terms in other contexts because you're disgusting.
Okay, again, that's not an argument. Your disgusting is not an argument.
Yeah,
so Anyway,
I wasn't making an argument. I was making
again. So you understand how the attitudes of the culture affect law, right? That's one of the examples of why like things like blackface are bad, or why things like racism are bad. If people don't see black people as human beings, and then laws come into like reinforce those beliefs of the people, right? That's a bad thing. So when I'm fighting for women's rights as to be seen as human beings and not aesthetics and roles that men can do and purchase and opt into, when I am asserting that in the culture, it's because the laws are also reflecting this attitude about women. And the attitude comes from men who want to colonize and fetishize our sex. This is actually, we already have to deal with a whole bunch of misogyny and dehumanization as a whole. This is just one iteration of it that has caused us to literally be redefined in language and law to reflect men's fucking misogyny. Okay.
Wait, sorry.
So now we have to deal with this.
Sorry, I didn't see the timer ended. Would someone want to like 1v1 or open panel? It's up to you guys.
No, the conversation ended there. I've gotten the most radical person of this.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we do need one more no to request. I do see there's 4 yeses requesting, but one no does need to request. I guess it's open panel. Go ahead.
I mean, I think she's already admitted to me she actually wouldn't care about like some colloquial usage. It's because she's entailing the fact that the colloquial usage is somehow necessitating a change in law, even though she admitted earlier that wouldn't be the case. But because she's seeing a high correlation, she decides to apply a blanket statement to people just because they might apply the colloquial usage.
So we don't care if you freaks said it to each other.
Exactly. Like you guys have been doing this stupid shit forever. You've been calling gay men she, her. You've been calling each other she, her, and women. You guys have been making fun of women and pretending to be women and being fucking weirdos about us for a long time. But guess what? Here's like now, because this ideology has been spread as like a very, very important thing that we all have to pretend that males are women who say they are. And now we have to enshrine it in law. Like in 2016, it was put in the Human Rights Code for gender identity to be protected in law. As soon as that happened, the colloquial usages became a lot more serious and a lot more impactful. So now we have to make sure that we don't utilize that language so that we reinforce this kind of provisions that we fought for.
Well, they don't see things like human beings, Martha. Remember,
things like the ability to exclude the male sex class from. Okay, so it's a human right to not be incarcerated with male people. It's seen as cruel and unusual punishment. It's seen as torture. So we are no longer allowed to have that human right because male people have made a claim about their feces. So that is oppression. If our human rights are being violated because of male people's fantasies, fetishes, and disorders of their mind, that is oppression. If women are fleeing male violence and going into the centers and shelters that we fought for, that are really hard to come by the way, we had to get funding, we had to get volunteers, it took decades. If we flee male violence into these shelters that we fucking scraped out and we find grape inside those shelters at the hands of male people, that is oppression. Okay? Oh,
I just want to point out,
Martha,
my question.
We should send me that clip of this guy laughing.
I was not laughing at that. I was watching these things, bro. That's all. Now, I was laughing also because, I think your take makes no fucking sense at all. But no, I wasn't laughing at that. No.
What's the argument that makes no sense?
Yeah.
Wait, you have to give an argument that it doesn't make sense, but Martha doesn't even know how to assess an argument. Never gives an argument.
I mean, I don't need to give an argument at all because like Martha.
Tell us what doesn't make sense.
You don't need to give an argument. You just need to just make a statement. It doesn't make sense. That's my argument. It doesn't make sense.
Wait. So like, what's the selective outrage about begging the question?
What earlier? When this dude asked you, hold on, be quiet. When this dude right here, when Bob asked you for evidence, you proceed to say you never read it. You proceed to say you're not restating the evidence in hand. You
Okay,
did.
so
Don't
anyway,
ask
what
talking
is your
about?
argument as to what
Yeah, so,
doesn't
like,
make sense?
I don't need to
You're
give an
just-
argument. If you don't need to
So
give
you're
an
saying no,
argument,
You're just running. You're just running. You're just like, well, when you were in the grocery store and
That doesn't
debating,
make
you
sense.
gave a
You ran away
fucking
too.
source that actually did say what you said, but you didn't
Martha,
read
you
it
ran
the whole
away
way
too.
through while
What are
you
you
were in
so
the grocery
surprised
store.
about?
So I don't have to make an argument.
Martha, you're
Dude,
tangenting.
That just doesn't make sense,
what's your argument
Malachi.
besides it doesn't make sense? What's your
Martha, you're
argument?
tangenting. You
Malachi,
also
what
did
you're
that.
saying doesn't make sense.
What did I
Martha,
say
hey,
that didn't make
do
sense?
not call my
Stay
name like that.
focused.
It
Do not
doesn't
call my
make
name like
sense,
that.
Malachi. Malachi,
What did
Malachi.
I say that doesn't make sense? Go ahead.
Well, I don't need to.
Okay,
You didn't.
so-
You didn't.
Okay,
give
wait,
an
I can,
Malachi,
like,
everything
make
you
it
said
very
doesn't
clear,
make sense.
actually.
It makes sense. It makes sense, and I don't have to
Wait,
pay.
go ahead.
Actually make it now. We're just running off of like she's established mutual exclusivity and joint exhaustiveness. Now let's talk about all the social implications that she wants to talk about. Now that
do you
she's
mean by
established,
What are you
mutual
talking about?
exclusivity and joint exhaustiveness? Like, what are you talking
don't
about when you
know.
talk about that?
Oh my gosh! So you've heard me
Yeah,
say
nobody out here
mutual
is stupid
exclusivity and joint exhaustiveness how many times in the conversation?
so-
and you only
okay,
asked
so
what it meant
mutually-
now.
So you're
You only
saying
asked what it
that-
meant now.
Oh my
So
god,
like,
you're
what the
so
fuck were you doing before?
insufferable.
You're just
Quit
like,
fucking tripping out.
Okay.
Jesus
Hey,
Christ.
that's racist. Don't say that.
wait, did you
So
say
you're
chimping
saying-
out?
So you're saying men and women would be mutually
Wait, did she say chimping
exclusive,
out?
so-
Wait, one
Yeah,
second.
anybody can act
Absolutely
like a
did.
chimp.
Yeah,
Anybody.
Wait, guys. Wait,
Wait,
what
that's kind of racist.
Yeah,
Wait,
yo,
what?
yeah.
Anybody
this-
can
Never
act like a
knows that
chimp.
I'm
Plus,
black,
I'm
by the
trans
way.
black.
One second.
Plus, I'm trans black, so I can say it.
This toe-eyed cabbage.
Wait,
is
can
calling
we
him a
not with the
chimp.
racism on the panel?
Wait,
I'm asking what
it's
happened.
not
I don't know
racist to
what.
say
Wait,
chimp.
Oh,
what just
never
happened?
said that I was chimping out.
Yeah,
she
anybody
knows
can
that I'm
chimp
black.
out. I don't think you're black at all, but there's anybody can
2 years now, but he thinks she might be fooling around.